Got a package from Midway today. Oh yeah, look at this. My very first Hornady die set. And do you see that? Do you see that? You get your first Hornady die set, your first set of 380 dies. And what do you need? You gotta celebrate with a Bundaberg root beer. Something I don't like about this already. Look at the sticker right here. Now Hornady, they always have the coolest stickers and all that fun stuff. It just bothers me that I gotta cut this label. I already had to unwrap it in plastic. Now I gotta cut the label and like all this should be up here so that it stays intact instead of getting cut halfway through. It just seems like with a little bit of planning, that could look a lot better and be a lot better. I mean, it's not that it's not usable, and maybe I'm nitpicking it, but that just bugs me. All right, let's see if I can open this one-handed. Wow, that is fantastic. And this I like, so if it turns out crappy, I'm gonna send it back. You got an Allen wrench, you got a little extra spring. I like that it gives me an extra decapping pin. Oh, 2 of them. That, big fan of, big fan. So what brought me to these dies versus any other? Strictly money. I was looking at getting another set of Lee dies. I like the fact that they're carbide a lot more than these being titanium nitride. I looked at the cost of the Lee die set and the cost to go and buy new steel lock rings for the Lee dies. Then it realized that put me within like $5 of buying this set, and it already has this, and all the pieces and parts are steel. I'm hoping a lot less O-rings. The Lee dies, the lock rings have a giant O-ring in there, and I honestly, I hate it. If there's one thing I hate about them the most, it's that. I do like that these lock rings has a nice flat on them. I'm not saying that my Lee dies are bad or anything like that, or they're not gonna last forever, but I don't have to dink around with all the O-rings is what it appears to me. But this, you can see where some of the cost savings are. You can see the mill marks right there. That's not an issue, but that's where your cost savings are. You see mill marks here on these flats, here. The knurling is really nice. The steel looks like it has a pretty good finish on it. And then you also do not get a carbide sizer right there. As long as this doesn't scratch the cases, I'll be happy. But you can just see that there's just a little less time spent on the fit and the finish. Well, this threaded rod right here, it's kind of wild. They have taken the peaks off the threads and flattened them. I've never seen that before. So right here, now this is not an expander ball, so you can see the machine marks on it. It's not perfectly smooth. It's milled, it's smooth enough. All this has to do is hold the decapping pins so that you can pop the primers out. So this one will work for 380 auto and 9mm. That's interesting. You can see in there the fit and finish on the outside of this die is very rough. Now on this, that's not such a big deal because the case is not rubbing on this. I'm guessing this is just an expander. Now that is weird. This plug does not come out. I like the Lee and the RCBS better than this, at least looking at it. I'm sure this is gonna be perfectly functional, but once again, this is their budget set. They kind of skimped on, you know, a nice refined finish, except on the inside of that expander. It looks smooth. It does not appear to be polished like the RCBS is, but it does, it appears to be a little better finish than the rest of the die. It's gonna do the job fine. It just seems a little bit hokey to me. And the bullet seating die, I have no idea. I've never seen anything like it. You've got this lock ring right here that holds in that plunger. The inside of this die is finished off better than the expander. What the crap? Some kind of rubber ring right there. This has got to be the fine-tune adjustment. There's just some burrs left from milling this out. So it's like they threaded it and came in, chamfered that edge. It's just left a little bit of mill marks. Now, I think it's a little bit of a misnomer because really custom grade, that should be the top notch, but really custom grade is basically saying, hey, we made these to meet a price point. This little ring comes off. So this must be like a lock ring for this. And this is just a little rubber O-ring right here. That seems just a wee bit chintzy to me. All right, then you got a plunger right there. It's interesting, that edge right there, you can feel a burr from the mill marks on there. They've got it coated in oil to keep it preserved. It does seem like they've polished the inside of that, which I'm glad to see for the bullet seating die. That part is polished on the insides. On my Lee, nor on my RCBS, do they have that nice polished, rounded edge. They're kind of sharp and abrupt. But this, they've taken it to some degree of polish. It's nice and smooth to the feel. It's not a mirror finish, but it's all surrounded over on the inside to help not mar your bullets. Now on the outside, it's a bit sharp. Those edges have not been eased. And then there's another one right here. You can see that little fleck of metal. That'll come out over time. It's just left over from the milling process. So that's locked in. So we got to remove that. The nice part is that's just, you just push on that, and that's it. That's going to be a toolless exchange right there, which is always appreciated. It's actually milled out pretty smooth in there. You can see the mill marks, but it's very smooth. And now that makes sense why they've done that, because this piece right in here floats within there, and so you don't want anything hanging up on it. But it almost looks like this is cindered metal, a lot like I believe the Lee is cindered metal there. It's not necessarily bad that this also does your taper crimp, and it has a nice little positive stop so you don't go too far. This is kind of near the bottom of the die, so that when your bullet goes in there, it holds your bullet perfectly straight and in line with the case. Looking first impressions of the fit and finish of the Hornady custom grade dies. Because of some of the corners they cut on some of the fit and finish of it, it did make these more affordable and a lot more pleasing. It's crazy to me how expensive modern dies are right now. I got exactly what I was expecting out of this and what I was wanting. This is a win. If I was gonna get me some rifle dies, I'd probably be starting at the RCBS and then moving up in quality from there. But for this is gonna be perfectly fine. And it was easier on the wallet. I'm pretty sure it was like another 20, 25 bucks to move up RCBS. It's crazy to me because the difference in cost didn't used to be so extreme. I would dare say that your ammunition is all going to shoot the same if you follow good reloading practices. It's all going to be accurate. I don't think that's going to affect it, but a little bit finer finish and a little bit higher quality, I don't think that's a bad thing in the long run, and I don't think it's a waste of money. I am very glad that they are making these that hits all the things that you need it to in a die set to get you reloading, and it's easy on the wallet. That makes a big difference, and we're all in different stages of our lives. I imagine this is gonna work perfect for me. My biggest concern is this guy right here. I'm just hoping that works out as good as Hornady says it is. These seating dies are based on the size of the bullet, not necessarily a caliber. So there's a good chance that this works with a 9mm as well as the 380. So I'll have to test that out. And the same with this. If I can find a 9mm sizing die, and then I believe I can use these two dies with either caliber. So that is one nice thing about this. That allows you to stretch your Copex just a wee little bit more. And then this is a zip spindle. So you loosen this and you can kind of give this a tug. It's pretty firm. I actually prefer just threading it in and out, but you're supposed to be able to do a quick thread on that. Keep your stick on the ice and have a good night.